As you can tell, I am a huge Celeste fan after playing this game. I also would like to flex that it only took me 3 days to beat. A very brutal and beautiful 3 days. I'm gonna try not to cry in this video, but I don't think I've ever related to the main character of a game as much as I have to this one. Celeste has every element in a game that I personally love. It's a platformer, it's indie, and adventure. It's touching, compelling emotionally, and exciting. It's also hard as nuts, worthy of rage, and made me want to give up. But the true test was not to. Celeste was released on the consoles and PC on January 25th of 2018, and man, I cannot believe it's been that long. But I'm so glad to have found such an amazing game through my husband, who's never really immersed himself into it. I picked up Celeste on his Nintendo Switch actually, then I put it down because of the difficulty, but it was way too captivating to not come back to. It soon became one of my comfort games, oddly enough, and I told myself, man, I've got to get to the end of this game. Like, I've got to climb this mountain. Anyway, they don't call me the platforming queen for nothing, so come on my children, grab a seat, grab a drink, get cozy, and come join me on this journey. This is Madeline. Just breathe. Why are you so nervous? As someone who struggled with anxiety in many forms throughout my life, just reading that made my heart sink a little bit. Just a minute in and I'm thinking, oh yeah, this game's gonna be a breeze. Boy, was I mistaken. This old lady here is a recurring character in the game. She knows a lot about the mountain and basically serves as a warning and medium to Madeline about climbing it. Initially, Madeline thinks she's just a crazy old bat who needs mental help. Well, she doesn't really beat the allegations when she laughs at everything she says, huh? Madeline advances forward into what's the heart of the game. Running across the crumbling bridge with a taste of that summit music just sent chills down my spine. We got a long way to go, you and me, Madeline. So to start, Celeste teaches the player the fundamentals of the gameplay. Jump, climb, and dash. Pretty self-explanatory and simple to combine. Before hopping into the real deal, they gave me some encouragement. You can do this. How they know words of affirmation were one of my love languages. Before we can get to the top of Celeste Mountain, I had to make my way through the city. Oh my gosh, you can pick up strawberries. Now, the amount of strawberries you get in the game don't really matter, but if I wanted to impress you guys or my friends, I could try and gather them all. I kinda don't care, but I kinda do, so I'll try and get as many as I can. On my way to the mountain, I met Theo, who's also taking a hike. Theo is kind, conversational, has rad hair, he's from Seattle, and already feels like a friend to Madeline. It was nice to meet you, but I've got a mountain to climb. You know, there's a special kind of coordination that comes with playing this game. Sometimes I died in the dumbest, most stupidest, unexpected way, and I thought I was better than this. Actually, sometimes I get hyperfixated on retrieving a strawberry and realize that it's just a strawberry and I'm obsessing over that. And I should just continue on. The music doesn't make me want to leave so quickly either. I mean, it's just a work of instrumental art. Finally, after 20 minutes of struggling, Madeline says, "This might have been a mistake." Right, so that first level was just a tease. It actually gets more intense. Yeah, I feel like torturing myself today. And with that, chapter 1 is complete. Got 11 out of 20 strawberries and died 70 times. Gosh, did I really? That seems like a lot. In chapter 2, Madeline runs into these rock-hard substances that prevent her from progressing. After passing her reflection in the mirror, a part of her breaks loose and makes the blocks passable. Obviously, the main objective here was to go and catch whatever that was that just broke through the mirror, but I went on a strawberry hunt before pursuing. What I like about Celeste is that it actually makes you think and not just do. Some of these obstacles don't make sense until I realize that I need to be thinking about my next move before I make it. I love a good brain-off game, but this one doesn't allow that 100% of the time. I digress. Madeline, yes, bad Madeline, is the pragmatic nature of Madeline. She's anxious, doubtful, insecure, overthinking, emo, and more or less the logical side of herself who isn't always nice, encouraging, or uplifting. Madeline is the embodiment of intrusive thoughts and being unfiltered. She's the personified version of talking yourself out of doing something because of some sort of fear or anxiety. I think we all have a Madeline on the inside. Throughout the game, Madeline struggles to battle this part of herself, and it's one of the things that's gotten me so attached to it due to the relatability of it. And with that, the chase begins. You guys know I always have to sprinkle the topic of music into my video essays, but the chase music here is so immaculate. It's the perfect intensity to match what's happening. Running away from Madeline wasn't hard, but oftentimes I psyched myself out and wasn't intentional enough about my next move. You don't have a lot of time to think when your anxiety's chasing you, and even throughout, that anxiety has manifested into different forms by multiplying. At least that's how I perceived it, and I thought it was so much fun. At the end of chapter 2, Madeline picks up the payphone to an unknown caller who seems to be maybe an ex-boyfriend, a shoulder to cry on, someone she's had a rather close relationship with, who's also aware of her panic attacks. This character more or less tells Madeline that she only calls when she needs something, leading me to speculate that she had someone she was once comfortable enough with to open up to in these moments. The conversation was rather vague, but felt intentional to the player to add their own projection. This character actually never reappears, and to me felt like an act of leaving the past behind and moving forward. But also, in times of major doubt and feeling like your world is falling apart, it's normal to think about the people of your past or something in your life that represented the good, even if it was slightly toxic. Madeline confronts Madeline again, and her self-doubt literally eats her alive. You know that feeling of wanting to do something so bad that the reason why you're doing it sometimes can get a little blurry? Then you get in your head and you're like, wait, I actually can't do this. I should just give up. The reality is, I'm never going to grow if I don't get out of my comfort. Sorry, this game is about Madeline, not me or you. Or is it? Theo is also hanging out at the end of the chapter, so I went by to learn more about him and deepen my connection to yet again another fictional character. Alright, so chapter 3 is where Madeline meets Mr. Oshuto, the longtime owner of the Celestial Resort Hotel, who tries to convince her to stay because he's extremely attached to the place. The place is actually decrepit, broken down, and hasn't had any customers in eons. We're just trying to pass through, obviously, but Oshuto has other plans. His idea to get Madeline to stay in the presidential suite is just what he needs to make what's dead come back to life, even though she explicitly states that she doesn't have plans to stay. The Celestial Resort is covered in what I'm calling brain fog or scum, and is symbolic to Mr. Oshuto living his life, or should I say afterlife, in this dusty hotel. And I say afterlife because I assume he's deceased due to his floaty complex. It's actually quite sad. Mr. Oshuto realizes that his hotel is utterly a complete mess and gets Madeline to help him clean it out. It seems like a win-win in this case because he could possibly, and I mean big possibly, get some customers, and Madeline can finally find a way out through all this mess. Now to actually getting out of here. So I was still doing my best with these strawberries, you guys, but sometimes I had to ask myself, was it really worth it? Over in one of the rooms, there's a letter that can be found in a pile of linens showing that this place has probably been closed for quite a while. In this chapter, I really liked the buildup of everything, from the difficulty to the music, doing a little something different every time Madeline cleans a room. Theo is also here trying to make a run for it. He's very clear on his feelings toward Mr. Oshuto and says he needs some real help. But Madeline, being classic Madeline, says, I can fix him. So she's gonna stay and help out. It's so satisfying hopping on those blocks to clean up though. Followed Mr. Oshuto to the presidential suite, and well, it's getting harder and harder to get out of here. Each room took about 5 minutes to get out of. It was very annoying. I feel like it shouldn't have taken that long. There's a letter of official closing in one of the rooms where Mr. Oshuto says his final goodbye. He ends with, maybe I'll stay for one more night. There's no telling what happened to him that night. Also, I found the B-side tape, which I'll talk about later. And finally, I'm at this freaking presidential suite, and just like Madeline says, this place is a dump. But honestly, I relate to Madeline feeling bad for the poor guy. She gains control over the situation and ends up causing Oshuto to rage and chase her out, inevitably causing me to rage. I mean, the boss encounter was going well until it wasn't. I was more so at the end of this whole thing, but it really took me ages to get past this. I had to take a break. And no, I wasn't banging on my desk out of frustration. Not at all. Mr. Oshuto finally stops his tantrum and asks for Madeline to just leave him alone. I really felt bad for him, but sometimes you just gotta be brutally honest with people. Now, I've reached the Golden Ridge. Granny makes another appearance here to check up on Madeline and ask her if she's ready to give up yet. I've still got some fight in me, so of course I'm gonna keep going. That interaction did leave me thinking, do I actually want to keep this up? Similar to Madeline, I don't know why, but I've got something to prove to myself. This chapter introduced some new mechanisms and obstacles like the clouds, transportation bubbles, these very annoying spikes, moving blocks, oh, and the wind. The wind was so irritating. Oh my god, I needed some Vaseline after this. Once again, there were multiple times that I tried to get every strawberry that I saw, but if I had to try too hard, I honestly just gave up. I want to say I really didn't struggle much in Golden Ridge. It was pretty chill for the most part until maybe the last 10 minutes. The music starts to pick up as well as the challenge of making it to Celeste Mountain. I mean, where are these snowballs coming from? Whew, I can't believe I did that on the first try. I finally made it to this janky skylift thing, apparently it's called a gondola, before our dear friend Theo hops on. Theo and Maddie have a moment shortly before her anxiety and fear of heights take over. Theo tries to stop the gondola, but the lever breaks and Madeline has a panic attack. Now guys, if you've ever had a panic attack, you know exactly how she felt in this moment. And Theo, being the king he is, helps her through this. Also, oh my god, this game is so good. We literally get to experience this with Madeline. Breathe. Relax. Everything's okay. I'd be having a panic attack too if that were me. Well, I wouldn't be up there in the first place, but you get it. Now onward to the Mirror Temple. I can sum up the Mirror Temple in one word. Haunting. Okay? This level was a whole lot of how do I get out of here? I was scared. The game was already kind of difficult, but this chapter was atmospherically scary. And by the looks of things, it had this vibe that almost said, you should stop here. You can't play this. It had a different vibe, like something was about to happen here. It was interesting. So most of the mechanisms in the Mirror Temple I was familiar with, and that was a plus. However, the bubbles here, which are now red, travel instead of popping like they did back at Golden Ridge. I gotta say though, everything about this was so nicely done, and that goes for all the previous chapters too. Although that's not gonna stop me from absolutely ripping and tearing through the fact that this chapter was a complete maze for me. Nothing made sense. I spent a long time here reflecting. Get it? Obviously you do, that's the theme of the chapter. I'm essentially dragging Madeline and my inner peace through a haunted obstacle course curated by her own self-doubt. Madeline, I believe, fully manifests here. To me, it's the only thing that makes sense. And she's not just the voice in Madeline's head, but an actual gameplay mechanic. You dodge her, confront her, and rely on her. The game is saying you can't progress until you make peace with your worst thoughts. It is so intentional, and I love that. So from there, the course gets even more challenging. And can I talk about how long this chapter is? It's just like anxiety. You think you're almost through and suddenly there's a whole new layer. That layer being now stuck in here with Theo's emotional baggage as well. Theo's trapped in a crystal because he feels immobilized by not feeling good enough. He wants validation, so he feels pressure, mostly due to his social media presence. The eyeballs are very symbolic of that. Less dramatic than Madeline, but still a parallel to real, subtle anxiety. After what felt like a very long time, I was able to get to crystallized Theo. And just to add another layer of difficulty, Madeline has to carry Theo out of the temple. It was scary and hard, but honestly, I was killing it. Anywho, I busted out of there in about an hour and a half, and that concluded the chapter. But did I take a break? No. Maddie and Theo sit down by the fire and converse with each other, and we also learn why Theo mistakenly calls her Alex back in the Mirror Temple. And it's because she reminds him a lot of his sister, whose name is Alex. He also admits to him what's really going on in the mountain. Madeline later has a conversation with Madeline, and well, it doesn't go very well. Madeline thinks she understands everything now and believes that she should leave everything bad about herself behind and tries to abandon Madeline. So of course she freaks out because letting something go that's part of you can be confusing and painful. I think she realizes that wasn't actually the right thing to do and ends up hitting rock bottom. And I mean, she wouldn't stop falling. I was thinking, holy crap, this is setting me so far back right now and I need to pick me up. It was almost like everything I went through up until this point was for nothing. The music here is very mellow and rock bottom-y. Also, the moving blocks are back, but not quite. They have faces and you can't maneuver them. Well, you can, but you have to hit them on the side of where you want them to go. In regards to difficulty for me, this one felt like Golden Ridge. It wasn't really a breeze, but also not terribly hard. I don't recall getting many strawberries here. I partially gave up on it, and it's possible that I was just exhausted from the climb. I guess I should have taken a break. This chapter was all about Madeline confronting herself, and that she did. Granny here kind of believed in her for a sec, but sometimes that's all it takes. That one person. She also continuously laughs in her face, which I'm finding humorous myself at this point. On to the boss fight. You guys, the way this starts is insanely good. It's by far one of my favorite experiences in the game. Don't get me wrong, there's always some level of frustration that comes with playing, but overall, I had a blast confronting Madeline. They clash and it's like two magnets repelling each other. I feel like I need to do a separate video on the music because it's so good. The battle music combines elements of Madeline's anxiety back on the gondola, and even when she learns about Madeline in chapter 2, it's fun. However, I died quite a bit and I was ready for it to end. On that note, Maddie and Baddie, and she is a baddie, they accept each other in the end and work together. This allows us to level up and things start to look up. The level up includes being able to dash twice in the air now, and I believe grabbing longer without losing grip too quickly. Madeline is now fully ready to climb this mountain physically and emotionally. The character development is why I'm here. We made it, y'all. Remember when they teased me with that summit music at the beginning of the game? Well, now since I've made it, I can hear it in its entirety and I am pumped. Heck, I'm even playing better. I'm even trying to get strawberries again. Alright, so I'm pretty much replaying the game. Chapter by chapter by chapter by chapter by chapter with the help of Madeline now. Like, I've had enough. I've had enough. This game just keeps pushing me. I'm giving it an inch and it's taken a mile. The Mirror Temple was the hardest for me to get out of, once again. I'm talking 20 minutes. Through it all, Madeline finally learns to love herself, and she's okay if she fails. At least she tried, and she's happy with that. So now all that's left is to climb 30 floors. Just 30? That's easy. I've gotten this far, I can do anything. I practically tried to rush this, mainly because I was too excited to be at the end of the game, and I kid you not, guys, I wanted to chuck the controller across the room by the time I got to floor 14. I didn't think I could do it. I was sweating bullets and crying lightning. Oh, these freaking spikes. I don't even want to talk about how long I was on floor 13. And 9, oh my god, why was 9 so ridiculous? I felt like that dude that posted that Mario frustration video on YouTube years ago. If you know, you know. Just a little more. I am clawing my way to the top at this point. I did it. I actually did it. This is bittersweet. I want more torture. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. At the end, Madeline bakes a pie for everyone with all the strawberries I was able to get, and honestly, I couldn't tell if they really liked it or if it was an absolute disaster, but here are my stats. In addition to the rest of the game, Madeline can now access what's called the core to explore the center of Celeste Mountain. It looks to require 4 hearts, which can be found and collected in previous chapters to open. I also mentioned B-sides earlier. These are the tapes you can collect also in the previous chapters. After those have been completed, then C-sides will be unlocked. I played and completed the first B-side, but once I got to Celestial Resort, that was it for me. I couldn't do it, so I quit. I crashed out. Also, the game features a final chapter called Farewell, which is the longest and hardest. Maybe I'll attempt that one on another day. Or better yet, another life. Celeste was everything to me. Playing it taught me how to sit with the parts of myself that aren't always pretty. The doubt, the fear, the parts I try to outrun. It didn't ask me to be perfect. It asked me to keep climbing. Somewhere in those relentless retries, I found a quiet kind of acceptance. And again, the music. I am so big on soundtracks, and this one wrapped around me like a blanket. When a game gets that right, it lives rent-free in my heart. It also wasn't just the emotional depth, but every element of this game pulled me in. The gameplay, the difficulty curve, the story, it was all insanely good. It felt like it was designed by people who understand what it means to struggle and still show up. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. If you want more content like this, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you in the next video.